You guys see well over there? Is it clear? Is it clear or not? You guys have a question? It's very easy. Okay, so I might give you a quiz at the end of. No, just today. No. Just a random question in the class. Don't worry about it. You will not fail. It's very easy. Are you guys scared? Huh? Are you scared or not?
No.
You're not, huh?
I got an email this morning. I'm not supposed to be in this math class, so here I am.
Oh, you're not supposed to be here?
No. I'm talking to my advisor.
Oh, all of you are not supposed to be here? Oh,
Apparently just her.
I'm enrolled in everything, but it's like not required for my major.
oh, you're fine. You can do it. So you can get a very, very good A here in this class. So if you work hard. Okay, so let's look at. Do you have any on section 2.7? So let's look at section 2.7, which is solve absolute value inequalities. So absolute value. So what is an absolute value? What is an absolute value? What is an absolute value? So we can say absolute value is a number Or we can say absolute value of a number is its distance from 0 on the number line. Absolute value of a number is its distance from 0 on the numbers. So we usually write the absolute value. So absolute value of n is, we always write like that. So the absolute value of a number is written in that form. So we put the 2 slashes there. And always this n is greater or equals to 0. So it is always greater or equals to 0. So the absolute value is not negative, will not give us a negative. So it should be 0 and the numbers after 0. So it cannot be negative. The absolute value cannot be negative. So for example, absolute value of minus, let's say 5, is always 5. So we check the positive one. The absolute one is not negative. It can be 0 or after 0. The absolute value of 5 is also what? The absolute value of 5 is 5. Now, if x equals to, let's say, 3, if the absolute value of x equals to 3, then x equals to 3 or x equals to minus 3. If the absolute value of x equals 3, then x can be 3 or minus 1. It means to say the absolute value of 5 is 1. Right? So we can set the absolute value of this state we want. The absolute value of 3 is 3. The absolute value of 3 is what? It's 3. So again, y, let's say we take y equals to minus 4. So we have a solution there. We don't have a solution, right? Because we say the absolute value is either 0 or a positive number. So there is no solution. There is no solution. There's no solution. If we have, let's say, x equals to 0, x is equals to 0. So what will be the solution there? So solution is 0. Because we say the absolute value can be 0 or any positive number. The solution is 0. Okay, so how do we solve an equation where it has the absolute value? An equation where it has the absolute value. So how to solve absolute value equation? How should we solve the absolute value of the equation. So example number 1. Example. If we are given to solve the absolute value of 5x minus 4 minus 3 equals to 8. 5x minus 4, the absolute value of 5x minus 4 8. So what we do? So first of all, what we do, we check all the values which do not have the absolute value. So we check this minus. So that means we add 3 there. So first of all, the first step is isolate value, isolate the absolute value. So that is the first step. Isolate the absolute value. So what do you do here? So we add 3 in both sides. So we isolate. So absolute value of 5x minus 4 equals what? 11. Will this give us a solution? It will, right? Because this one is not what? This is not negative. So this one is not negative. So it will give us. So
But if it is negative, would that mean?
so if it is negative, yeah, then there is no solution because the absolute value cannot give us what? So therefore, that means 5x minus 4 is equal to what? 11 or negative 11. So 5x. So 5x minus 4 equals to 11, or 5x minus 4 equals to minus 11. So what are the values of x? Now our 5x equals to 11 plus 4, or 5x equals to minus 11 plus 4. So 5x equals to what? 15, or 5x equals to negative 7, right? So x equals to 3, or x equals to negative 7 over what? Negative 7 over 5. So, and these are the values of what? The values of x. And our solution of so that's how we solve. So say if we isolate the absolute value here and we find the negative here, then therefore there is no solution. Now, if there is a solution, then this absolute value can be 5x minus 4 can be positive or what? Negative. Then that's all. Any question after that? Are we together? Okay, another question here, another example. Example 2, we have the absolute value of w over 2 plus 9 plus 7 equals to minus 11. We have that. So how do you solve this? So we need to isolate the one, the absolute value. So absolute value of this plus 9 equals to minus 11 minus 1, 7, which is equals to minus what? 15. Therefore, since this one is negative, then there is no solution. So in Newton, if you find something like this, then I think you are using this, right? Yeah. Do you want to isolate absolute value or you want to decide the solution? Yes, so you isolate the absolute value spots. Put the absolute value to one side. So you take that off. So once you take it here, then you can see if this one is this is negative, then that means there is no solution. If it is positive, then it is plus or minus 18. Plus or minus 18. Any question? Okay. Another example. The absolute of value of 5x plus 7 or plus 9 equals to absolute value of 9x plus 4. Now, how should we solve this? So basically, we can make one of them to be plus or minus. So you can make function this one to be plus or minus. So you can say 5x plus 9 is equal to positive 9x plus 4, or 5x plus 9 equals to negative 9x plus 4. So what is the solution? So the solution, so we can say 5x plus 9 equals to 9x plus 4, or 5x plus 9 equals to minus 9x plus 1 plus 4. So it can be plus or minus the whole of this. Or you can actually make the other side to be what? The reference point. You can say 9x plus 4 equals to 5x plus 9, or 9x plus 4 equals to minus 5x plus 9. Yeah, you can either, you can do the either side. You will still get the same solution. Now, in this case, we bring this here, or we take 5 to the other side, and then we bring this 9. So we can actually take this one here, and then we bring this here, right? So 9x minus 5x is what? 4x. And then we bring 4 here. 9 equals to what? Equals to 5. So x equals to 5 over 4. Are we together? So you can take 5x to the other side. So when you take 5x here, and then it will be 9x minus 5x, which is what? 4x, right? So you can bring 4 here. So it will be 9 minus what? Minus 4, which is what? Which is 5. Are we okay there? Or, yeah, you can bring 9 here. It will still be the same, because the minus and the minus will cancel. Here, now we open this bracket. So 5x plus 9 equals to minus 9x minus what? Minus 4. When you open the brackets, so you need to consider this. You open the brackets. So when you open that brackets, then you distribute the what? The negative there. So it will be minus 9x minus 4. So you can bring 9x here, and then you take 9 over there. So when you bring 9x here, then it will be 5x plus 9x will be what? 14x equals to minus 4 minus 9. So 14x equals to minus what? Minus 13. So our x equals to minus 13 over 14. So therefore, x equals to 5 over 4, or x equals to minus 13 all over 14. Are we together? Anyone? Are we confused? Okay. So you can either either take this here, or you just do this. So actually, when you bring this here, and we find x minus 9x below minus 4x. And then we take this one here, 4x minus 9, 4 minus 9 is what? That minus 5. Okay, now let's now come to how can we solve the inequalities. That one was just the equal sign. Now, how can we solve the inequalities? And the inequalities we had greater than, less than, greater or equals to, less or equals to. Now, how should we solve the inequalities? How should we solve the inequalities? Now, let's start from how can we solve less than? Any question? So, okay, so solve absolute any value inequalities with less than. So how can we solve absolute value inequalities? Less than. Now, if we, let's say we have the absolute value of x is less or equals to, let's put 3 there. The absolute value of x is less or equals to. Then, now, since we said this is on a number like that, yeah, so it can be 0 to what? To that number, which is 3, right? So it can be 0 to that 3. Then we also say, now, since this one is equal, then the value of x can also be what? The negative, right? Can also be negative. So for the absolute value, these are values which are greater than what? Zeros, right? But here, the absolute value of that number, which you can say x, can be 3, or x can be less than what? Can be minus 3, right? Can be minus 3. Now, if we remember, when we change the sign, what happens to the equals? So we multiply by the negative, or we divide by the negative. What happens to the equals? It reverses, right? So in this case, we have x, which is less or equals to 3, or, yeah, or we can have x, which is greater or equals to what? Not even or. And we can also have x, which is greater or equals to minus what? Minus 3. Okay. So we can have x, which is less than 3, which is still this. Yeah. And then since the other one is negative, right? Since the other one is negative, and we know that x, yeah, x is less or equals to 3. Then since the other one is negative, and we know these values are greater than
is less than 3, right? So if we introduce this negative sign there, so that means the values of x will be greater than what? Negative what? I don't know whether we are understanding this. So here, we can see here that x is, the values of x, we said they are from 0 to what? 3. Yeah. Now, since it is the absolute value, we can also have the negative. Okay.
Yeah.
X can be 3 or x can be minus 3. So we know that this x is less than 3. So the values of x are less than 3. So it can be 0 to 3. Okay. So they can be less or equals to 3. So 0 up to 3, which is including 3. And then also, because it is negative, then those values of x, since they are negative, then this x, yeah, since we know the x are between 0 and 3 here. So if they are negative, then that means those values of x are greater than what? Negative 3. They are greater than negative 3. So in this case, we can write this as x greater or equals to negative 3 and x less or equals to what? 3. So we can write that. So we can write like that. So if we have the absolute value inequality with less than or less or equals to. So let me give you a hint. If we have the inequality of less than or less or equals to, then I usually use this. Okay. And then I just put the and here. So I can say less than. So I can say that one is and. So if we have the absolute value inequalities with less than, then they are and. Okay, they are and. And we say if they are and, then both the inequality, the values should satisfy both the what? Inequalities. Okay, so it should satisfy all the inequalities.
So will less than never be or then?
So less than, less than that one is and. Greater than that one is or. Yeah. So for this less than, so that is and. So if we have that one now, then if absolute value of u is less than a, then minus a less than u less than a. Okay, so this is and we said this is the same as minus a less than u or u and actually and not or and u are less than what? Less than a. Okay, are we together up to them? And so it is satisfying both the inequalities. That is number one. Number two, if the absolute value of u is less or equals to a, then minus a less or equals to u less or equals to a. question.
So that second one is.
No, it's still and. It's still, I say, if it is less or less than. If it is less or less than, then there should be what? There should be and so long as it is less than. Okay. As long as it is greater than or greater than, we will just see that. So that one will be false. But for this one is what? I think. For example, solve. Example. Okay, in your notes, when you go home and look at your notes, put the absolute value there. Okay. The absolute value. So the absolute value of x less or equals to 8. So the absolute value of x less or equals to 8, and write the solution in interval notation. Write the solution. So how should we solve this? So we said, if it is looking at this, then it is what? So basically, this will be, it can be x equals to what? 8, and x equals minus what? 8, right? And since this is like this, then it is that way. And since we are changing the sign, yeah, then it reverses like that. Okay, it reverses the sign. So therefore, our algebraic notation will now be x, and this x is less than 8, and this x is greater or equals to minus what? Minus 8. And what is our interval notation? What is our interval notation? What is our interval notation there? Yes. So it is brackets -8 and what? 8. Since we are including -8 and what? Any question? So I did not tell you about this. This is what we call algebraic notation. So you can get any question like write the algebraic and the interval notation. So this is the interval notation. This is the interval notation. Or algebraic notation, you can also write like this. It is still similar. So long as you use the term n. So long as you use n. How many together? Any question? Okay. Now, if you have this x minus 4 less or equals to -1. X, the absolute value x minus 4 less or equals to -1. Is there a solution? Is there a solution? So there is no solution. So how no solution? So there is no solution. And we can write that on as the empty. So, yeah. Okay, now let's come to the next section, which is solve absolute value inequality, which is with greater than with greater than. So in this case, I will use this. So I will use that one. So you see greater than, then that means this one is what? This is or. That is or. The absolute value, the equality of greater than, then that is what? We say that one is what? And this one is 4. This is 4. If U is greater than, let's say, A, then U less than minus A or U greater than A. Okay, so you still change the sign. So if it is this U greater than A, now to change to the other sign, then you reverse the what? The inequality. If U is greater or equals to A, then U less or equals to minus A or U greater or equals to A. Greater or equals to okay, example. Solve the absolute value of x greater than 4. Graph the solution and write interval notation. Graph the solution and write the interval. X, absolute x greater than 4. Now here, what happens here? So it is what? X greater than 4 or x less than minus what? Minus x greater than 4 or x less than minus 4. So how should we represent this in a number line? So there is 4 here, let's say 4 there, and then there is minus 4 there. So x greater than 4. So those are the values which are 4 and the other side, right? And it is not including 4. So this is x greater than 4. X less than minus 4. So those are the values which are what? 4, and then the other side. So what is our interval notation?
Would be negative
So in parentheses, negative infinity,
comma negative
negative 4,
parentheses 4 comma.
union,
Oh, okay. That's what it's
so and then union this side, right? And then brackets for parentheses, sorry, and then what? Infinity. Okay. So we are connected. So since either the values here can satisfy either the equality, so you can choose any value the application satisfy either the equality. Oh, you don't see that. So it will be parentheses. Are we together? Okay. Now solve this. So absolute value of x plus 3 are greater or equals to 5. Write your answer in interval. How should we solve it? Well,
Is that already answered?
yeah, it is already explained. So what is the next step?
X plus 3 is greater than or equal to 5, or X plus 3 is greater than or equal to 5.
Less plus 1. So it will be, so our first step, it is already isolated. So the next step is now x plus 3 is greater or equals to 5. Since this one is greater, then this should be what? Or x plus 3 less, we change the what? Sign, right? Less or equals to what? Negative 5. So we take the 3 to the other side. So x greater or equals to 8, or x less or equals to minus 1? Minus 8.
Is that 2?
Oh, sorry. 2. That is 2. So what is? So we can draw this one in the number line. So 0, we can put here minus 8, and then we can put here 2. X greater or equals to 2. So it is going that direction. And then x less than minus 8 is going that direction. Okay. And what is our interval notation? Minus infinity, minus 8, right? And then union 2, and then what? Infinity.
Wait, would it not be brackets for both? Oh, got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, can you try this? The absolute value of x minus 6 plus 7 greater or equals to minus 1. Greater or equals to minus 1.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at, if we take this on the other side, then what? And this one is what? Greater than one, greater than one. So this side is what? Positive, right? And the positive value is greater than the negative values. No. Yes. Yes. So that means there are what? There is a solution. So that means there is a solution. So since that side is positive, so always positive is greater than negative. So there is a solution. So first of all, what do? You take this one to the other side. The absolute value of -6 is greater or equals to minus what? -8. So we know all the positive values are greater than what? Negative. Okay, and we can also put the negative values here, which can be equals to -1. So therefore, the interval notation there will be the values which are what? From -infinity to what? Infinity. So any value there. So we can write all positive values are greater than 8 or greater than -8. So -infinity, infinity is interval notation. Is the interval notation. So actually, this -infinity to infinity is a real numbers. So these are always real numbers. So real numbers are numbers positive or negative, or numbers positive. Any question up to there? Okay, since we still have like 2 minutes, you can try this. The absolute value of x minus 5 greater than 0. So if it is greater than, then this one is what? Odd, right? So this one is odd. So the absolute value of minus x greater than 0, sorry, x minus 5 greater than 0, or x minus 5 less than what? Less than 0. Now, if it is 2x minus 9 less than 7, so this one is what? And. If I go together. So this one is what? This is and, right? So it will be 2x minus 9 less than 7 and 2x minus 9 greater than minus what? Minus 7. So you should always remember this. You should remember less than is what? And greater than or. Okay, so before you run away, Alexander, Holly, Zachary, Brown, Clinton, Savannah, Lindsay, Han, Cameron,
Here.
Angeline,
Here.
Zoe, Maria,
Here.
Abby,
Here.
Michael,
Here.
Canon. This guy is not around today. Oh, he's around.
Yeah.
Lexia, Felicity,
Here.
Caleb,
Here.
Reed, Miranda, Snow, Philippa, Owen, Trent, Morgan,
Here.
Colin, Carlo, Mark, Smith. All right, see you guys on Wednesday. Make sure you do your homework.